Alright, guys. We got SERRAL in the bottom left side of the map. REYNOR in the top right. It's the lower bracket grand finals here at the $20,000 Maestros of the Game tournament. It's the finals. They are a LAN tournament in Paris for the top four, which has been such a fantastic event so far. The players are G'd up. The crowd is hyped. People are drinking. They're having a good time. And it's just been so much fun. Really good vibe to have this top four after several weeks of online play culminate with these matches. And of course, if you haven't seen the rest, go back, watch the other ones first, because there no doubt will be some spoilers in here. But yeah, this is going to be a good match. Winner of this will face Clem in the grand finals. And it is going to be a very early Evo chamber for REYNOR. He's been playing a lot of fast Evo upgrades. He's going to go super fast. Melee before Ling speed. Ooh, hello. Oh. This is the lower bracket finals, guys. So winner of this goes to play Clem in the grand finals. Loser is eliminated in third place. Winner will be into that top two. I dislike that they always zoom out. SC2 wasn't meant to be looked at this zoom level. I think it's good when there's bigger stuff going on, but I do wish in the early game we stayed a little bit more zoomed in. Unfortunately, I do not control the camera for this, guys. So it is what it is. SERRAL has a quicker third. He has a... Oh, no Baneling Nest. I think that might get him in trouble. This could be a really good matchup of openings for REYNOR, because he'll start massing Lings now. And his next injects of Zerglings are going to flood to that third and look to cancel it. And I don't know if you can defend that. Oh, Zergling tries to get in, but the Queens deflect. Really nice defense on the scouting there for REYNOR. So SERRAL's not sure what's happening. I mean, he knows the third is delayed, but in his mind, he might be thinking this is a, you know, Roach Warren build. Like, there's a fake Evo chamber at the front. He's probably thinking, yeah, this is like just straight to Roaches or something like that. A bunch more Lings get built for SERRAL. Can that, with the help of the Queens... Oh, he's actually doing a Ling Flood as well. Oh, so SERRAL does his own Ling Flood. This is good for REYNOR. REYNOR's going to have his own Ling speed. He can go across the map. And with melee on the way, that's huge. He's already starting +1 range as well. He's already starting the next upgrade, REYNOR. All right. 12 more Lings building. 6 Roaches are on the way. Can Roaches, Queens, and the no upgrade Zerglings match REYNOR's +1 melee is the question. Back to drones for SERRAL. And that might be unfortunate. He sees a lot of the Zerglings. REYNOR's got to go. REYNOR cannot waste time, but I think this gives a few more moments for SERRAL to perhaps get prepared. I think this is going to be hard for SERRAL to defend. I don't know if he realizes +1 melee is done. I don't know if he's really putting 2 and 2 together. He's kind of out in the open. I think REYNOR can just A-move that. And that's what he's going to do. He's going to go for a big fight. He's got to clean up the Lings of SERRAL first. He does wrap around that side, gets rid of it. Queen goes down, but... enough Roaches and Queens come together, and that does look like it was a decent fight for SERRAL. He's down only about 100 resources in the trade, which is not too bad. Of course, REYNOR does have way better double upgrade timing, and he's caught up on the workers. Roachbane counterattacks coming, though. SERRAL should counter. Sorry, REYNOR should counterattack, I mean. SERRAL's gearing up for a Roachbane all-in. Macro Hatch goes down. REYNOR struggling to spend his money. He's got to send those Lings out. He's got to keep those active on the map. I think, you know, counterattacks are it. Do not fight front on. He pushes, you counter push. Don't stand and fight, because these Zerglings are not going to be useful against the Banelings. And that's the real threat, because right now SERRAL is massing Ling Bane, and he's about to push out. Pushes the Overlord back, sneaks his Lings out. Roaches will deflect. He's really making it look like a macro game, but REYNOR's not taking the bait. REYNOR's building Roaches and Lings of his own, and REYNOR's upgrades, my gosh. I mean, yes, SERRAL's ahead in army supply, but it's mostly Ling Bane, not that many Roaches. The problem is there's no Baneling Nest for REYNOR. If REYNOR had like a few Banes, he shuts this down. He's trying to make 3 Ravages to defend this. He's got a lot of Roaches. I'd love his Lings to counterattack. Like I said, he can't be fighting front on. There's so many Banelings! Oh no! REYNOR loses a lot of Zerglings running into a Baneling there up the ramp. Really nasty. That's a bad start for him, and that could be enough to snowball this. REYNOR needs to do a fighting retreat. He's got to pull back. Great start to his defense, but he's got to keep falling back. He can't let himself get surrounded, and that's the real fear. He's got 1-1 upgrades on the Roach Ravager. These 3 Ravagers need to get out of here, though. He's got to try and kite as best he can, which I think with the Carapace helping out against these Lings, he might be able to hang on, but he's lost a lot of drones already. 13 workers falling. His Ravagers trying to hang on. Bile's not able to land, and the Ling wraparound on the Ravagers is going to do it. SERRAL's going to be able to push through. And I think that's huge. Just committing to essentially a mass Ling Bane all-in with just about 8 to 10 of your own Roaches and Ravagers. It was a Ling Bane all-in against a guy who went +1 melee. A very smart way to play for SERRAL, where he really just gets in there and finds the weak spot. The longer that game was going, the worse that was going to be for SERRAL, but he finds the necessary moment and gets the damage done. All right, guys, going to the next map. REYNOR looking a little disappointed with that. I think he was in a good position off of that opening, but his opponent, his teammate down here in the bottom right side, caught him off with a much higher heart rate, surprisingly. SERRAL. Yeah, SERRAL does look a little amped up. I think he knows that there's so little room for error in this matchup. And then he kind of managed to get out of a pretty tight corner. If he realized it was 1-1-1 upgrades, oof. So we did just, what do we do? We're leaving it on 60% game sound. There's a lot of people who are just saying random things in chat now, but yeah. Yeah, I'm not going to base it. No, you guys took too long to answer. There's no game sound at the start of the game, so I'm not going to do it. You guys took too long to get your feedback. Because this is it. Everyone's like, oh, add game sound. And then the big fight happens, and they're like, oh, I can't hear you speak. It's way too loud. And I'm like, nope. You guys needed to give the feedback at the end of the game. You could try again at the end of this game, but I don't trust it. I think most people in chat are just making up random numbers. It's important when the big fights happen, because StarCraft, the audio goes up a lot when the big fights are happening. All right, guys. SERRAL's going to move across the map here with these two Lings. Third hatchery for REYNOR. SERRAL at the same time. Baneling nest should go down soon for REYNOR. I think REYNOR's been mining a bit more gas. Unless he's going to go fast Evo, but off of a third hatchery. REYNOR's addicted to fast upgrades right now. He's addicted to fast ups. He does make a Baneling nest, but he's been mining a bit more gas than SERRAL. You can see gas at the bottom. He's only down like a handful of gas. But SERRAL doesn't have a Baneling nest. He does. I wonder if SERRAL tries to skip Baneling nest again. Maybe SERRAL's figured out just going straight Roach behind the Ling pressure is just really good. Lol asking for feedback and then ignoring it. That's it. I mean, I understand. I understand. I know how the internet works. Some people say the customers are always right. These people don't understand. The customers are usually a moron. That's how the world works. Obviously, you can choose to cater to them and give them the garbage they ask for, or you can give them what they actually want, which is not what they say they want a lot of the time. Baneling gets a decent hit, but that's a good hatchery snipe. SERRAL's going to get it, man. Very well done. Very well done. That's really good. Hatchery does get a snipe. +1 range is on the way for REYNOR. Roachhorn is started behind this for SERRAL. An excellent start to game 2. Remember, this is a best of 7. You got to win 4 games. It's not going to be over quickly, but it's a really good start. REYNOR does have a +1 range upgrade advantage. Gets a queen snipe, which is good. It's all about efficiency for REYNOR here. Losing a third sometimes makes players panic and throw units away, trying desperately to get back in it. But he's got a queen. He's forcing a lot of Banelings on the defense. Merely a +1 range. I don't think this is lights out for REYNOR losing that third. You know, it was a big wave of Zerglings SERRAL built as well. Ooh! Alright. You can see the Zerglings very active for REYNOR, but he's not finding any more damage. Oh, what am I talking about? Yes, he is. 5 Zerglings for free. Beautiful. That's really good. Lucky that SERRAL kind of just wasn't watching the Lings run down the ramp, got surrounded. Beautifully done. Two Lings coming in for SERRAL to scout. Will they get in? It looks like they will. 3 Zerglings even. He sees the lair. It's a real lair. He doesn't know that, but I think he saw a good amount of drones as well, and long-distance mining ones also, which is a very good inclination that Reynor's, you know, recovered into the macro game. And look at the numbers. This is not that bad for Reynor. And this is it. If you don't panic when you lose your third, you can do a little counter pressure, force a response from them, and just rebuild. And the fact that he started that +1 range so early gives him a massive advantage on those upgrades. I would have loved to see Reynor make 1 or 2 Overseers as well. Because if he could also contaminate Serral's upgrade and then maybe go for a +2 timing, or maybe even a 2-1 timing, that could be excellent. All right, so +1's finished for Reynor. He's got Roach Speed on the way, 9 more drones, which means +2 does need to start. As that lead will slip away. There we go, +2 starts. But Spire for Serral. Now keep in mind, Serral won't go mass Mutalisk, but he will play like a handful of Mutas, clear up the Overlords, dominate the skies, and force out Hydras and whatnot. Overseer's going to come in for a scout. Reynor's not scouting right now. He's had a lair up for a long time. The other advantage to 2 Overseers is not just contaminates, but scouting. Neither of those is being prioritized by Reynor, and that's a really big problem. I think he might feel like he's a bit behind and he needs to cut corners, but this is really bad. Oh, he's making 2 Dropper Lords. And 4 Banelings. Oh no! This is so bad against Mutas. I just don't think he expects Mutas from Serral. He's kind of playing against what he expects Serral to do, not what he is doing. At least Overlord speed should allow Reynor to pull back a bunch of his Overlords, but the lack of scouting is really bleak right now. I've always pointed out Dark and Reynor, the 2 Zergs who don't scout nearly as much as the Serrals of this world. Serral's all about scouting always. Sometimes Reynor, he just has a plan, he just does the plan. And it can work really well when you've got a good read on your opponent or you're just all over them. But in this case, this is a very close game where if these Mutalisks catch these full Dropper Lords, this could swing really hard. Still, big Roach attack on the front at the same time as the double drop goes in. The Mutas are out. Dropping the main, Overseer's just being caught. Mutas go to the front, which means maybe these drops could actually find damage while the Roaches distract. Mutas do pivot left. Main base, of course, has not been kept an eye on. Roaches react, though. Serral's all over it. Serral's so quick to respond. Baneling's not going to get much. Only 2 drones in mining time. Overseer will get hunted down as well. Reynor, right now, he's equal on upgrades. He doesn't want to fight Roach on Roach until he's got that +2, which is about to kick in. He could maybe go force a fight now, but with Mutalisks on the defensive, it feels like Serral should be able to use the Mutalisk coverage to buy himself a little bit of time. Reynor's going to have to wait to have some Hydras in the mix. He's got 6 of them building with Groove Spines. Does have to build some Overlords, though, as that supply block is very real. Serral going Bane speed. Guys, we're seeing the Tude Ming build. The old Chinese Roach Baneling. It's a bit of an all-in style, but if those Banelings connect with the Hydras, the Mutas can do very big damage. I mean, it's not even about the Mutas, really, in this case. It's if your opponent overbuilds Hydras, Banelings are just good. Banelings are also good in Roach versus Roach for a one-punch knockout, just crushing a fight so hard, because each Baneling is only half a supply, so you can have 4 Banelings for every Roach of your opponent. If you just spend the last 20 or 30 supply building 40 to 60 Banelings, it's such a big, just explosive addition to your army for only having a few less Roaches. Like, right? You trade out, oh, I'm gonna have 15 less Roaches, but I'm gonna have 60 Banelings. Like, that's huge. But you gotta connect them in a good way. And right now, Reynor, I think, has a good kind of pre-spread on his army. It's kind of interesting that he's just like, I'm happy to fight. I've got +2, but Serral now has +2 as well. His Bane speed's done. But I think Reynor wisely is like, you know what? I'd rather fight you out there. I just think he should be pre-spreading. He's not pre-spread. Hydras deal with the Mutas. Reynor's so clumped. Why is Reynor clumping? He's clumping against Banelings? Oh, I thought he would pre-spread. He's trying to stutter step his way out of it. He's going to break the rocks. He breaks the rocks, but he ends up crushing a bunch of his own Roaches as well. Was it good? I don't know. Maybe. He does survive the first wave. Generally, Banelings are meant to be cost inefficient. But because Reynor was kind of trying to do the stutter step micro there and staying clumped up, I think the Roach versus Roach went so well for Serral, made up for it. But the Mutas have mostly been taken care of. Reynor knows there's more Banelings out there. Serral, of course, not focusing on that now that the surprise factor's gone. Serral's got to be careful. Almost steps into a surround, but he does pull back just in time. Oh, the Banes go for the worker line. 8 workers go down on this right side. Lurkadon's on the way for REYNOR, but it's a lair tech Lurker, whereas SERRAL's going for Infestation. So he's going Tunneling Claws, Infestation. He's planning to go 5. He's also got Burrowed Roaches there. Oh my god, is he just going to unburrow and run past now that the army's gone? Yeah! Dude, SERRAL, you cheeky bastard. He's been doing so much with Tunneling Claw Roaches. He's happy to lose these Roaches. I don't know if Tunneling Claws is there or if it's just Burrow, actually. No Tunneling Claws. A lot of these Roaches will go down, but he kills a hatchery. Is this worth it for SERRAL, or is he throwing too many units away? He has 70 drones. He has so much economy. As long as he's fighting on the enemy side of the map, he's happy, because then he has time to replace these units before the counter swing gets to him. But SERRAL needs to build Overlords and Roaches at home. He's trying to make more Banelings right now, as those are going to be incredibly cost efficient. 70 drones to 36. REYNOR has a huge army, but can he actually bring that force to bear on SERRAL? He's coming across the map now. Only half of his army's on this side. I think he might wait for everything else, but that gives time for SERRAL to build up a massive bank of Banelings. SERRAL has the money, but he's down 40 army supply. Will the Banelings help him out enough here, especially with lair tech Lurkers? Such a good counter to the Baneling. I think he just killed one of his own Roaches there to make another Lurker, maybe? Or maybe it was just a misclick. Not quite sure for REYNOR. So he does seem to have quite a bit of supply free. He's going to run forward. Lurker, Roach, Ravager. Dude, these Banelings are going to struggle, man. The Roaches... Oh, watch out for the Lurkers. Watch out for the Lurkers. Oh, those Lurkers are so powerful, dude. Lair tech Lurker, Roach all in. Beautiful spready on the Roaches from REYNOR. Avoids the worst of the Banelings. One of the Lurkers gets taken out by Speed Banes. How often do you see that? That takes so many Banelings. The Roach Ravager, it's an all-in for REYNOR, though. And the Roach Ravager's spine for SERRAL is hanging on. It forced the army back. His Roaches did a lot of damage. He's ahead in army supply as SERRAL. These Lurkers are coming forward, though. Those Lurkers, if they can add some good damage, could be really nice. I'd love to see REYNOR kind of collapse to one side of this fight, group up his units so that part of SERRAL's flank gets lured into the Lurkers. But look at that. The Roaches come in from the side. The Lurkers get focused down, and that is going to be a 2-0 advantage for SERRAL. Nice attempt for a counter all-in for REYNOR, but SERRAL gets control. All right, guys, on to Persephone. SERRAL in the bottom left. We've got REYNOR up here for Basilisk in the top left. We just saw in the camera picture, REYNOR looks pretty relaxed. SERRAL was actually the one who kind of knocked himself against the back of his chair there. SERRAL in general tends to look pretty tense when he plays, but I think that's just how he plays. REYNOR obviously looks frustrated when he loses, but I think he's been finding some nice vibes at some points in the tournament. Being down 2-0 against SERRAL, of course, is very tough. Keep in mind, we looked at the results, and before their last 2 run-ins, which was, of course, there we go, Basilisk Trainer, it was a 3-2 victory for SERRAL over REYNOR in the Esports World Cup, and that was some crazy comebacks in that series. Honestly, REYNOR should have won, probably 3-1, and then it was 3-0 earlier in this tournament. But before those 2 series, it's 3 years of utter domination for SERRAL over REYNOR. Since the start of 2023, SERRAL has been on another level to him. Tuck Thalamus? What is that sign? What does Tuck Thalamus mean? I feel like I just read out something naughty, but I don't know if I did or not. I'm so confused. Maybe that's just their friend. Their friend's name is Thalamus, and they're like, hey, tuck Thalamus, man. Tuck your phallus? I'm not sure. All right, guys, we've got hatch first for both sides. Looks like a hatch gas pool. It's a rather long map. REYNOR takes his hands off the keyboards and mouse, has a bit of a stretch here in the early game. Pulls his Basilisk shot out. Interesting. Thank you, Ronan, for the sub. Now the question is, guys, when Ling Speed starts, how many workers get pulled off cast? That's usually the first deviation we see between players. If you leave all 3 mining, you know, you are wanting to get either faster Baneling Nest or something like that. You can see REYNOR's on 2, SERRAL's on 2. So they're both doing just 1 worker pulled off gas to get a bit more minerals once Ling Speed starts. And I would not be surprised to kind of see a Baneling war. Just Ling Bane. Actually, I don't think either player really pressures the Ling Bane. I think they both believe the other guy's too good for you to get success. Dark is really the only top tier Zerg in the last 5 years who would just believe in random Ling Bane pressure. He'd throw that out pretty much every best of 5 series, whereas the top guys will be like, I'll poke with a few Zerglings, maybe 1 Baneling, but They're very rarely going to commit 20 plus Zerglings to actually seriously attacking with like 6 Banes, 20 Zerglings, that sort of stuff. All right, extra Overlord building at about the same time for both sides. Close to 40 supply. Reynor starts a third queen earlier, which is a sign of defense. SERRAL hasn't started that third queen yet. There we go, just a few seconds later. Okay, very similar macro for both sides. So I think SERRAL's looking for a creep tumor. I imagine Reynor's probably going to do the same thing. And once again, an early Evo chamber for the Italian. He's been loving those upgrades. He does hide his Baneling Nest in the back, does Reynor. That's what I've been calling like the Basilisk Evo chamber is when you hide it in the back. But actually, it's SERRAL hides the Roach Warren. Probably just a safety Roach Warren, I would imagine. Few Lings and 2 Banes will go out to try and defend this. Ooh, here comes a Bane pressure though. SERRAL actually putting on a bit of pressure. 1 Baneling does get sniped by a Zergling though. I say sniped, but actually I think it just detonated. +1 range starts for Reynor in the midst of this skirmish. 2 more gases for SERRAL. Sign of a longer game. It doesn't have to be a sign of a macro game. He could still go Mass Roach Bane after this because there's no Evo chamber. Lair? Lair before Evo chamber? Okay, Evo chamber goes down. Part of me wonders if SERRAL's going to turn this into a mass muta game. I think that's the last thing Reynor would ever expect. It seems almost too crazy, but I've really got my eyes glued to that production tab wondering, does SERRAL commit to melee or range on that Evo chamber? He might feel like up 2-0 he can get away with a big gamble and just go straight mutas. Lair's much later for Reynor. Reynor stopped on 48 workers. Looks like Reynor is gearing up for a big all-in. Reynor's built way too many Overlords. Guys, he's going to have like 130 supply free. Wow. This takes away a little bit of flexibility for Reynor because he really is not going to have an efficient fast timing attack. I think he just sacrificed a Baneling to blow up one of SERRAL's Zerglings. That in of itself is a bit of a tell. Oh, okay, Reynor gets in with some Lings to scout. SERRAL stops at 56 drones. Just going Roach speed, +1 range, and mass Roaches off 56 drones. Perfect count to stop what Reynor is doing. Reynor didn't fake transfer either. Reynor's got to go right now. He's going to have +1 range, which SERRAL won't have. SERRAL's going to build a Spine Crawler right in the middle of his 2 bases. Perfect positioning. He's also going to make a few Ravages with that excess gas. I think this is actually such a close situation. I would say SERRAL probably has just enough to hold with 13 Roaches coming out for him. Oh man, it takes a while to get across this map. It's all about the Corrosive Biles and the Zerglings of Reynor. Can he land Corrosive Biles and can his Lings avoid the Banelings? If he can focus down the Banelings of SERRAL and get his Lings to actually have a good impact in the fight, he could do well because there's no +1 range for SERRAL, which means his Roaches are going to struggle against the Lings, but he's got a lot of Banelings, 6 Banelings in the mix. Spinecrawler is there. Banes do try to come forward. They actually end up rolling into the Roach Ravager a little bit. Does get a few decent Baneling hits on the Zerglings, though. A few Roaches coming from behind for SERRAL. The Spinecrawler adding some impressive damage from the backline. The Roach Ravager marching forward. SERRAL's Banelings have all been exhausted, which means the Ling Reinforce could be especially deadly. There's still 6 Ravagers there. The Spinecrawler will go down to those Corrosive Biles. Reynor starts to lose Ravagers, though, and those are expensive losses. Starts to heal up some of his damaged Roaches by morphing them into Ravagers. He has to cancel to actually dodge a Bile, and that's always the problem. Anytime you're on the front line like that, look at that. SERRAL was hunting those 2 wounded Roaches. He has to cancel the Ravager morph multiple times. I just don't know if Ravager morph on the front line is ever really good anymore. Yes, it heals the unit to full, but you're losing damage output while you are morphing. So unless it absorbs a ton of Zergling hits, it can be really rough. Reynor starts a lair. He's making more Roaches and Lings of his own. It does not look like he has transitioned back into drones. That means SERRAL has a 5-worker lead. It means he has a Spire on the way and extra gas. And SERRAL has equalized the upgrades. But he's also got Roach speed on top of that +1 range. Ravager Biles, 3 of them hit. Needs 1 more to finish that Overlord. Could spray them in a spread around it. It'll be nearly impossible to defend. Yep, does get it. Overseer in the main sees the lair. 9 drones now start up, but it's so late for Reynor. Oh, it's so late for him to go back to droning. I think he's got to move across the map to like pretend he's attacking, but SERRAL's already capped out his workers at 63. Serral doesn't have roach speed. He cancelled it. Oh, great catch from chat. Very good catch. Seems pretty clean for SERRAL. Keep scouting, don't get surprised, and squeeze a few more drones out at a time. Overlord speed comes in as well. He'll get a few Mutalisks for map control. REYNOR, though, if he can just turtle, secure a fourth, go Hydras. His supply's ahead. His +2 is quite far behind, though. REYNOR does have Carapace almost finished. Means his +2 is going to be miles behind. Baneling speed again for SERRAL. This is so interesting that SERRAL's playing this this Baneling speed style repetitively. Like, he truly seems to believe this is just a fantastic way to play. REYNOR's up in supply. He's just got to drag the game out. He has no offensive win conditions for many, many minutes. He's got to chill. Spores are going to go down. A few drones being rebuilt. SERRAL's worker count up to 70 again. I mean, that's what makes this so nice for SERRAL. Because those Banelings are going to allow him to threaten mineral lines, have a really supply-efficient unit to utilize that higher drone count. Baneling, very good unit. Roaches are pretty low damage, so it's really hard for them to kill the Banelings. You know, a 4-range Roach just can't stop the Banelings from connecting with it. Mass Bane coming in for SERRAL. Mutas at the front. Gonna look for a Ravager. Oh, they're going to find it. Ooh, almost. Not quite. Big Ling counter here for REYNOR. Spore Crawler and Queen will deflect the Mutas, but not before they pick off 3 drones. If REYNOR can at least find out about the Banelings, that'd be so helpful. The Roaches, though, pushing him away. Shepherding the Lings away from scouting that mass Baneling morph. 26 Banes. 8 more on the way. It's going to be 34 Banelings. Ooh, SERRAL's already got some bank behind it as well. He's got the Mutas being annoying in that top right side. Oh, Roaches gonna kind of get engaged here. REYNOR has the bigger army. Even though SERRAL has the better upgrade, it's not that big of an advantage. Not with the Carapace advantage for REYNOR, right? You've essentially got a 1 damage differential when you account for those upgrades in SERRAL's favor, but he's getting pushed back. He doesn't have enough Roaches. A lot of his supply is tied up in Mutas. It was 10 supply in Mutas, now only 6. He also had, you know, 10 plus more drones. That's another 10 supply. So if you've got 20 less army supply, suddenly you realize your Roach count's so much smaller, and REYNOR actually chases him away really effectively. Goes for his own burrow and tunneling claws. I love that he adds a few Banelings of his own. The idea being, hey, if you get 2 of your Banelings to detonate in the middle of that enemy pack of Banelings, my lord, they will be cost effective. REYNOR's back in this game, guys. I'm hoping we don't see a 3-0 here. I'm cheering for REYNOR a little bit to get back in this after a bad start. But SERRAL comes in, snipes a hatchery. Does snipe the Banelings, though. Oh, he's got to be careful. Banelings trying to blow up on anything that's in front of them. They are trying to get forward. They're kind of getting stuck on his Roaches a little bit. Beautiful pullback and spready for REYNOR. Oh, I love his spreadies, man. Beautiful. Roaches coming back, though. Looks like he split a lot of Roaches away from his army. SERRAL's so quick to remax. REYNOR lost his 4th base, so I think even though part of that fight was good for REYNOR, losing the 4th means, hey, you're up against a 4-base player, you're only on 3. If SERRAL can secure a 5th and just keep trading like that, he will eventually wear REYNOR down. REYNOR needs to find some extreme efficiency. That's why he's going for Infestors, because if there's another round of Banelings like that, you fungal them, that's when Roach Hydra can gun them down before they get on top of your army. Unfortunately for him, SERRAL is already on his way to the next step. Hive and Hydra Den. Oh, big bios land on REYNOR's face. Oh. Skirmish on the right side. SERRAL pressuring again. Oh, REYNOR just can't secure his 4th. Too much of his army's not there. Hasn't had a chance to get any Tunneling Claw Roaches across the map either. Sick fungal. He does land a nice fungal, but it doesn't do much damage. Just kind of slows the units down for a few seconds and tickles them. SERRAL, he's so happy to keep trading. That's all SERRAL wants. He's got a big economy, still up a base, still up over 10 workers, and he can keep doing this all day long. First Viper is hitting the field for SERRAL. Should be seeing a Lurker Den for him soon as well. I don't think he has one up just yet, but he'll need to build one just so he can start getting those upgrades. It's great. Well, Reynor's roaches are running away from the Bane. Serral's roaches are outnumbering Reynor's roaches. Yeah, that's part of how it works, right? Yeah, you kind of force a bunch of his units to scatter and run, and then your roaches are kind of winning part of the fight while that happens. And obviously, it's not cheap. Banelings are expensive, but I feel like Serral's been making these fights relatively efficient. I do think it would be good if Reynor was setting up for these fights a bit more. And what I mean by that is just pre-spreading his units. Rather than trying to stutter step them in a ball, you know, you're not using stim marines. It's actually better to be pre-spread with the roaches. Oh, look at that blinding cloud. Serral with beautiful positioning. Reynor going for a big all in. He just shoves straight on through. Roach Hydra does collapse the right side of the concave, but a lot of the Roach Hydra is kind of missing in action for Reynor. But hold that thought. It doesn't matter. He gets on top. He actually gets a really good fight. There was such a good angle. At first I thought the blinding cloud was deadly, but his roaches just moved right through it and kept on attacking. He's actually doing very well in this engage. Gets a bunch of drones. Some of them do manage to burrow. I do think Reynor needs to stay clumped, though. He's got to make sure he doesn't get picked into too many little fights, which is kind of what's happening right now. Does get himself a Viper. And wow, okay. Serral's heart rate spiking up to 145. I don't think he thought he was going to lose here. Fungal to reveal the burrowed roaches is adorable. And wow, the Roach Hydra Ball manages to do it. There was no Banelings ready. There was nothing there. And the Infestors, of course, finding a Serral with no Lurkers. I'm shocked that he didn't build a Lurker Den, guys. He went for a Viper, which is a nice unit, but I think Lurkers are so much higher priority when your opponent's still stuck on a low-tier Roach Hydra force. Reynor's at double the army supply. He's going to try and, of course, burrow those roaches to heal them up a little bit. He's hoping those roaches come back so he can unburrow on top of them. The Infestor's going to go down. Serral, I think, gets the Infestor up there. Takes out a few roaches as well. Good multitasking for Serral. Oh, he's being a nuisance, isn't he? Look at that. Oh, he's just running forwards, one-shotting units. And now Reynor's roaches down here kind of getting caught a little bit as well. Serral, he's absolutely dead right now, guys. Like, yeah. I was going to say, he's in the paddock. The farmer's chasing him around, just saying, hold still, please, so I can put you down. But Serral just makes it as difficult as possible. Reynor, though, gets a point on the board. And that is 2-1 to Serral. But Reynor gets a much-needed victory to give him hope. 3 wins in a row. You know, not something, or 4 wins, if he lost that game, would have been near impossible. All right, guys, look at this beautiful map here as we are going into the next one. Oh, there's a Protoss in there. Or is that a Protoss? Or is that like a Xel'Naga or a hybrid or something, right? Up in the top right, we do have Basilisk's REYNOR. Chat says they think going for the 2 Ming strat 2 games in a row is debatable. Yeah, well, it's a bit weird doing it in that scenario. I don't know. It's odd. Yeah. I'm still not sure why mutas. So mutas are really good because they force your opponent's vision back into a corner. You clear up all their overlords on the map. You force them into a corner. They can't see what's going on. You force spore crawlers. And it also pushes them into hydras. So you can then go speed banes. Reynor. Still got his Red Bull sponsorship. And in the bottom left side of the map, his teammate ahead in the series. It's nice. It's Serral. Oh. Serral? Sounds like we're not getting a proper intro for him. It is what it is. There we go. Serral. Sorry, guys. Timing it up when we are doing this. What is that? Is that a coffin? Was that a coffin in the background? I didn't. If anyone knows what that was, you guys let me know in the chat. I don't know what that fan artwork was in the background someone was holding up. And I wonder if he's saying Reynor is in the coffin or Serral. I don't know. The loser gets buried alive. To me, it looked like a stage with a trophy on top. Oh, cool. Yeah, mutas give map control and force an over response for just 5 mutas. It's the very European way of playing Mutalisks. I really like when players play mass mutaling Bane, which Reynor did 1 game in their last series against Serral, I believe. And that was effective, right? Really effective in that one. But I also don't mind people just going like 12 or 13 mutas, forcing a bit of a bigger response, being a bit more active with focusing drones, and then pivoting. But definitely, the way Serral likes to play mutas is usually very conservative. Just a handful of mutas. Your opponent can't really kill you because anytime they move out, the Ravagers get focused down by the Mutalisks. And seems like he was really keen on repeating the Baneling strategy. So he's like, I'll force you to go Hydras. Banelings do bonus damage to those. I want to play Roach Baneling. Let's do it. Apparently there's a sarcophagus Pokemon. What's that guy called? I feel like there's a Pokemon for everything. They just look at random household items. They're like, oh, it's a spoon Pokemon. It's a fork Pokemon. It's a knife Pokemon. You're like, really? There's one that's just a placemat. One's a tablecloth. You're like, okay, this is... I think this may have been creatively bankrupt decades ago, guys. I mean, this might be a really dumb child's game that no one who's actually cool would ever be into. Oh, Woody! Rotterdam! Colars! Sorry, guys. I just had something stuck in my throat there. Definitely isn't something where most StarCraft content creators are utterly obsessed with opening Pokemon cards. That would... No, that would... And if they did, I mean, that would be... I would never shame them for that, ever. It's a cool thing to do. All right, guys, we've got Quick Roachorn on the way for SERRAL. That's going to be Tokamak. Baneling Nest Evo Chamber for REYNOR.
Forces under attack.
I'm keeping an eye on the supply. One trick, guys, if you're wondering if someone's committing to a Roach Bane, how much free supply are they building? You can see SERRAL with these 2 Overlords popping. It's going to have a lot of supply free to build Roaches as that Roachorn's finishing. And REYNOR's gone for a somewhat late Roachorn at 4 minutes. Ooh, okay. SERRAL committing right now. 38 drones and 1 gas. Oh, it's just 2 mineral lines and 1 gas. So this is not that committed. The reason being, he didn't take extra gases. So SERRAL can go 9 roaches, 20 to 40 zerglings, and then still drone behind it, take more gases, Evo chamber, lair, all that stuff. If you go 2 or 3 gases into this sort of attack, it's much more committed. But you can see, SERRAL takes 2 more gases. He's building some lings. This is not, I wouldn't call it a fake out, but it's not that committed. Oh, we got some fun Zerg sounds there, guys. I swear, I think I have the sound setting off for those sounds, so I don't normally hear those at home. Roaches, Lings, and Banes coming forward. Uh-oh. Oh, REYNOR doesn't have any Roaches out. The spines aren't ready. Oh my gosh, it's just so early. It's only 5 minutes. He's just not got time. Oh no, REYNOR. The drones are in the open. He's not ready for this. His Roachling comes out, but there's still Banelings left over. That Spinecrawler somehow gets up on that side of the map. Impressive that it was able to at all. Many drones have already fallen. Oh, the Baneling comes in and finishes that one. Oh, good Ling wraparound, though. Really good Ling wraparound. Looks like REYNOR will be able to at least trample these Roaches and take them down, but SERRAL is already up 14 workers behind this. REYNOR needs to move across the map right now and at least pretend he's counterattacking. But he's not going to. He needs to move across. I mean, SERRAL's building a spine because he realizes how scary this is. You really want to lean into this. You want to go all the way to his base with your Roaches. And the thing is, if SERRAL's watching that mini-map, he should see nothing on the rally. And he should cancel his spine and go back to droning, I think. He's built plenty of Roaches here. REYNOR gets to the front and then turns around. That's exactly what he needed to do. SERRAL's going to cancel that spine crawler. That's it. SERRAL's still up 5 workers. He's got some Roaches for safety now. +1 range, relatively lined up for both sides. SERRAL finds himself in a solid lead. Ooh, okay. Income, you can see that advantage swinging back in SERRAL's direction. REYNOR did have an advantage for a while there. Remember, that third base was mining a lot while SERRAL's army was coming across the map. But then you lose all those drones and you go, ouch. But, I mean, you've already mined a bit more before that point. It gives you more of an ability to recover afterwards. That being said, SERRAL still maintains a 7-worker advantage. Oh, I love seeing the Zergling get caught on the Spinecrawler like that. That always makes me so happy. If it wasn't for that Bane hit, they'd be even now. That's true. I mean, well, they would have been very good if REYNOR saved 5 or 6 drones on that third. Still no lair for REYNOR. Is he all in? Oh, geez. He never made the lair, guys. There's no Roach speed. Oh, he's going for it. Okay, Reynor's going counter all in, but Serral didn't keep droning. He's only on 59 workers. I think Serral should have a good army. Army supply is almost dead even. This looks really good for Serral right now. Reynor went 100% committed to this. It's not like Serral knew what was happening, but he just knew there was a risk this could happen, and he didn't want to get greedy and go to 66 or 70 drones. I mean, 70 is kind of crazy in general in this matchup. Beautiful setup for Serral. I don't think Reynor can even attack in here, but he's committed. He has to try. He has to at least try and see if there's a weakness. He's going to push in, but look at that giant arc of roaches for Serral. He does eat a big bile on the left, but generally speaking, very good micro by Serral. Good spread on the biles for Reynor. I do really like to see that. I've been very critical in the past of pro gamers who don't spread their biles out. Reynor's doing an excellent job of spacing his biles out and just dropping them one at a time. Then another one. Here's one, here's one. Here's one, here's one. Just pairs. Just two at a time. You see that? It's just constant. Yeah, Serral's dodging well, but they're coming down so frequently that it's almost like maybe Serral shouldn't even be dodging because it's costing him so much damage output. Serral was so well prepared for this attack, and yet it is nail-bitingly close. He only barely hangs on. That's thanks to Reynor's corrosive bile placement. Really well done. I've seen so many people just rapid-fire their biles in one spot. The point of bile at top level is to make your opponent dodge, because when they're dodging, they're not attacking. It interrupts their attacking time. It's not to actually land hits, or at least not reliably land hits. So when you see players drop on the same spot, even there, double on the same spot, a little wasteful, it's, I would say, the least efficient way to use the Ravager Bile. So study what Reynor did in that attack. He was in a bad position. He's still probably in a game-losing position now, but he made it very close with that Bile spread. Reynor adds a layer carapace upgrade as well. We've got a second Evo chamber on the way, as well as a fourth hatchery for Serral. Reynor's trying to get any value he can by biling down the overlords on his side of the map. But of course, Serral can add overlord speed. Reynor won't be able to afford that upgrade for a long time. I'd love to see Reynor tie this series up. I don't know how he could do it from here. He's adding the second Evo. He'll add +2. It's all about defender's advantage. That's what he's got. I mean, he's up 3 drones. Serral, with how defensive he's been, I'm kind of surprised Serral's taking this long to drone. I think it's because his main's half mined out, so he doesn't really have any mineral patches to mine from. But now that his 4th base is coming online, Serral is finally saying, you know what, let's drone up. Whereas Reynor's 3rd is a little more oversaturated than Reynor's is. Now Serral's work account takes the lead. He's got all of these bonus upgrades. That's the advantage, right? Faster +2, faster burrow, faster tunneling claws. It's going to be really good. Apologies, guys, for the alarm. I just heard from TKL. He said apparently Clem took his shirt off in the venue after doing a shot of vodka, and they had to restrain some of the fans. So, yeah, apparently they're going to be just trying to calm things down a little bit over there in the live venue. You know, he did say, Clem, that he had to have a 2-hour nap, or a nap, because he was partying till 2 a.m. last night. Apparently he wants to party here before the finals as well. He's like, these guys suck. I'll beat them anyway. He's down there just crowd surfing. Reynor and Serral look up from their computer. They're like, why is Clem shirtless? What is going on? Roach Ravager coming forwards. Here we go. Big arc of defense. Reynor, good defender's advantage. And he shuffles forward. Focuses down a few Ravagers. He gets 2. Can he get 3? Oh, yeah. Very nice focus fire. He's got some links from behind as well. Dude! Reynor springs a sick trap on him, even though he's down on upgrades. Good choice to disengage there. Ah, the tunneling claws, though. They got dropped in the main, and now they can do burrow annoying stuff. So Reynor's got to be really careful to defend the next wave. But he's kept his 4th base alive for now. If he can keep that up, it's good. Serral knows he has a 4th. If Serral... Oh, this is way too many roaches in the main. There's only 4 roaches there. Reynor, you need to get everything back to the front. You can't be losing at the front, mate. He sent like 16 roaches to deal with 4. Oh, now he's taking a fight outnumbered and out upgraded. The previous fight was good. This one not as good. Okay, now it's good, but Serral recognizes that and does back away. Okay, he does have 6 roaches and an overseer there. Really well done. Queen's going to need to split into that main, though. Here comes more burrow, tunneling claw, roaches. Nasty. Queen taking some damage. Reynor losing mining. He's already down in the mining. Serral's building spine crawlers. Serral knows that his economy is so far ahead right now, he's basically buying insurance. Wow. He's like, Reynor can't get back in this. I don't think. Not without some big crazy all-in. So he's got those spines going up, building a little bit of insurance. His roach drops dancing around And that fourth base is going to go down. Reynor's not even trying to fight it. Reynor's just like, I know I got to go all in. I think at this point, Reynor says, please kill more drones. You just killed my fourth. Please kill more drones. Oh, he's going to trap this army at least. Is that good enough, though? Serral fighting pretty well. I think Reynor had to YOLO that and just, like, force that fight. He's got to take the fight. But Serral wants to skirmish. Serral wants to just pick off a roach or two, pull back, pick off a roach or two, because that allows him to trade out units a little bit at a time. And even though Reynor has a bigger army supply, Reynor wants one big pitched battle, crushing Serral's army and then running across the map and winning. The longer this goes, the more money Serral builds up. And you can see the way Serral's just not afraid at all, whereas Reynor's very wary of taking a bad fight because he knows he doesn't have a lot of money to recover from that. Ooh, big Biles land. Nice Biles. Couple more riches do go down. Oh, here we go. Reynor's going to try and catch that army of Serral. Serral's pretty quick to maneuver, though. Fire and maneuver. Fire and move. Okay, a little slow on that for Serral, but it's fine. Oh, the way Serral comes in with those roaches from behind. He's just trying to distract. He's nipping at his heels. Look at that. Dude, Serral is using some real gang tactics there with his roaches. Just coming in. Just, oh my gosh. Just great surround. The spine crawlers are there. Roach Ravager on all sides. Reynor's army may have been massive, but Serral's reinforce is huge. He's got 20 roaches in production. If he can just hold on, he should have this in the bag. Can he hold on, though? It's a lot of roaches, man. It's a lot of roaches. The army supply is dangerously close. Serral pulls the drones. Oh my gosh, this is so close. And that's why you build insurance, because there's always there's always the double-edged sword of getting ahead economically in StarCraft 2, which is you end up with less army than them. The further ahead your economy gets, the less army you have. You got to be so careful. But Serral survives with a 10 drone advantage. He's up a carapace upgrade as well. And he's up a base, even more importantly. Because the naturals have half mined out. So there's barely any minerals in the main. Naturals half mined out. Third is also starting to mine out. I mean, the fourth and fifth base is essential. And look at that income advantage. Oh, my lord. All right, Reynor right now needs to use some asymmetric warfare, but I'll tell you what's not asymmetric, guys. Roach versus Roach. It's about as symmetrical as it gets. Symmetrical's good in a lot of things. A nice pair of breasts, just to name one. But when you're playing Roach versus Roach and they have a bigger wallet than you, me no like you. You want to have mutas, you want to have lurkers, you want to have vipers, you want to have anything you can use. But I think Serral's just got too much now. He's worked an advantage for himself, and I think he's going to be going up 3-1 in this series. He's been ahead for so long here, man. He's been ahead for such a long time. Reynor's hanging in. I mean, the fact that Reynor made a comeback in that last game was very impressive. But it does feel like since the start of the series now Serral's really got a read on him in the early games, and Serral getting leads for himself and then just wearing him down from ahead. It feels like Reynor's getting smothered, and that's going to hurt his confidence. Confidence is what you need against Serral. Reynor's going to have to dig deep. This is so tiring. Feels like you're getting hit from every side non-stop. He's got all the tools. You just don't have tools that are as good as his. Marine Lord would back that one up. My tools just aren't as good as yours. And the Roach Ravager is going to go forth. We'll push this army back for Serral. Serral's got a big Roach Remax coming, though, and I think we know that he's just going to keep coming in from multiple angles looking for good fights. Apparently, guys, we've got an info from chat. Apparently, Clem is from Nice, or Nice, as I like to call it. It's nice. That's what Serral's talking about whenever he says it's nice. He's talking about Clem's home city. Apparently, La Siesta is a sacred concept. That's why he had to take that nap after being out partying late last night. I love it. I do love that we've entered the era of Nice Boy Clem. We left that era. We've entered Party Boy Clem. It just makes me happy. It'd be funny, man. How the tables will have switched, you know? After the in between the tournament, Reynor's like reading a book in his hotel room. Clem's the one out there partying. Serral's at the strip club. Biles landing on the roaches. Serral's still on lair tech. Hasn't bothered going hive. Doesn't need to. Just keep it on the basic units war. He's got endless money. He's got the lines of credit. Reynor doesn't. Reynor finally sneaks some roaches across the map, but does leave an opening. And those 3 roaches are going to slide into his mineral line and start massacring those drones. Does Burrow dodge the bile? No, it does not. Oh, youchies. Big Bar's landing. And look at that. Oh, Burrowed drones are hiding, but REYNOR, he's on 36 workers. If he was maxed, he would have such a big army, but he doesn't even have the money to max out. And this is what SERRAL wanted to do. He wanted to sandpaper him. He wanted to grind him down like Sandstorm from the Mighty Boosh. Wanted to just give him that fine green, fine grit sandpaper and just slowly polish him off little by little. That's how SERRAL does it. A lot of people look for one big knockout blow. SERRAL's the guy who just wears you down. Wears you down until you can't keep up with him. And that's what he's done here to REYNOR so damned well. The never-ending bile dance. Yeah, I mean, SERRAL just is taking no chances. He probably could have won by now by just forcing a fight, but it's SERRAL. SERRAL, I've always mentioned, no matter what the game situation is, SERRAL never loses his eye on taking efficient fights. And that's really what most strategy games and games in general are about, efficient fights. But he always does it no matter what else he's calculating. He always looks for efficient fights. He never gets sloppy and just forcing a really pig-headed engager, at least at a much lower percentage than other players. See there, he finally forces a fight, but even now, he's like, let's wait for the roach remax and start a step away. REYNOR, of course, is at like 100 supply. He can't keep up. And you can see SERRAL there. I don't even know if pensive is the right word, but definitely a sort of intense, thoughtful look on SERRAL's face as he thinks about how to finish this series off. Of course, REYNOR right now is staring down the gun of having to win 3 games in a row against the greatest player of all time. And that is going to be a hard ask. All right, guys, going into Game 5. Can SERRAL seal the deal? Can he mount Shai Hulud and bring the Sandworm under his control? Well, maybe not under his control, but at least channel it. Channel its strength, its power, and its ability to transport him across these dunes. We will find out. REYNOR in the top right needs to win 3 in a row. I'd love to see him win at least 1 or 2, 3 in a row. Definitely a bit of a stretch, but we'll see if he can pull it together. SERRAL's been very cool and under pressure. Even though he did lose that one game with the Roachbane on Persephone, it feels like he has been smothering REYNOR 2 out of 3 times in the last couple of games very successfully. What's better, bacon or soy, says chat. Bacon's good, soy's good too. I mean, I'm thinking soy sauce specifically, but there's plenty of good soy products. Those soy crisps, I don't know if they have them outside of Australia. Those soy crisps, especially those chili lime ones that are like the most overpriced snack ever. And they're like 40% saturated fat or something, but they're like all chemicals and soy. It's like the best snack ever. I don't know why those things taste so good, but those things are amazing. Don't know why we're talking about soy versus bacon, but that's what happens when you're casting 4 best of 7s in one day. It's a day of excitement, fun, and random tangents. Vengitron in the chat has pancakes. A little bit jealous. I won't lie. And interestingly, REYNOR has skipped Zerglings, guys. So deviation. Look at the gas. Very similar. Looks like they've both pulled 1 worker off gas, I would guess. But it's actually no lings for REYNOR. So he's like, I'm going to squeeze out a bit more money, get that drone earlier, and then I'm just going to build 2 lings to defend this hatchery from these lings. Of course, it can take a few hits from it. It doesn't really matter too much. Queen did... Oh, is he going to get the Overlord? Top left of our screen, there's an Overlord getting killed by Queens. I think it gets out. Yeah, it's still healthy. Both players push the enemy Overlords back. You got to keep 2 Overlords outside your opponent's base, otherwise you can't maintain vision of any Ling Floods coming your way. So both players struggling to reposition their Overlords to try and keep as much vision as possible in case there is a surprise set of Lings. Is there not a pillar? Pillars don't work in ZVZ because they've got Overlords as well. So if you were to take refuge on a pillar, it would just give time for the Queens to get right underneath you, and by the time their Overlord comes to spot, you won't have any chance to run away. So at this level, you always want to run away the moment you see that Queen. But imagine if you were a pig, you'd have to kill one for bacon. I'm not like, I don't think we're that much greater than animals. And as someone who supports cheap meat, I am down to factory farm humans, guys. Let's go. Dude, oh, I didn't see those Banelings morphing. 2 sneaky Banelings coming in from that right side. Uh-oh, this is going to be really hard for REYNOR to defend. He does have his own Banes coming, but a good first Bane hit for SERRAL. Good split on the Banes there for REYNOR, though. He's going to buy a little bit of time for himself. He's building 7 more drones. I thought that was greedy, but it was actually perfectly calculated. Well done by Reynor. I think Serral probably slightly won that trade, but of course he had to build the Lings a bit earlier, which means Reynor probably had a bit more income. Nine Zerglings for 12, actually, in favor of Reynor now, quite significantly. So I think that's off the back of that Baneling hit that he just got, right? Serral's work account's up ahead of full cycle. Reynor's got a lot of overlords building. Oh, he's coming out with roaches, that's why. I was like, how is Serral so far out on drones? So Reynor's doing a fake push. That's gonna scare Serral into building roaches. Reynor's gonna go lair. No Evo chamber as far as I know. Okay, alright, okay. Now Reynor's on 2 gas. Serral is also on 2. Oh my gosh, he goes right into the mineral line. Ling's managed to get 1 drone. Oh, he doesn't quite get the queen. Reynor may have gone too deep now. Uh-oh. Maybe in too deep, guys. Does have to pull back. Loses 2 roaches. Units lost time, you can see pretty close. 800 to 950 in Reynor's favor. Reynor's also up 13 workers. My lord, 13 workers and ahead in the trading? I mean, that Evo chamber upgrade on the way is the one advantage for Serral. I don't know. He's kind of got to just move across. He has to threaten. There's 3 roaches? Wait, really? I mean, I know this map is small. Reynor may have overplayed his hand. If Serral just clicks in there right now, he can do things. It's just, who expects 7 roaches and 6 Zerglings to be able to do things? Serral doesn't. In his imagination, Reynor has an army waiting. He doesn't want to get surrounded. He's just pretending. And Reynor does have a good enough army now. But I think there was a small window to run in and either click on the hatchery or pick off a drone or 2. Serral's droning behind this. He's going to try and run away, but he misclicked for a moment, so it did take a few more roach hits. He's going to get out. Oh, always scary when you got to weave through this area. Look at that. It's always so awkward, isn't it? It's the area that Terran siege tanks and marines dream of. Looks like 2 Banes rolled in. Reynor did lose 5 drones on the 3rd to some sneaky Banes. Very nicely done. Slow Roach is just cruising through that middle. Guys, is Reynor going a roach speed hatchery tech all in? I thought Reynor was in a really good spot, and I think he could drone up and still be in a good one, but I think Reynor may have... Oh, I think it's a bit of a half-baked plan. I mean, this could still work, because I think he was in a good spot earlier, but, like, he doesn't have an Evo, and he's just going for roach speed, roach ling all in? He's floating a lot of money as well. Not sure if he's been hitting all of his injects. Serral is building a lot of roaches. Every second that goes by, this gets way better for Serral, because his +1 range is going to kick in. He won't have roach speed, but I don't know if he needs it. I think Reynor's taken way too long, and it's such an awkward timing. He's building 4 overlords as he goes because he's supply blocked as well. Not what you want. He's trying to make ravages outside Serral's base, but that delays this attack even longer. If the Lings can get inside, maybe. Maybe there's a Baneling. Watch out for the Baneling. He gets in! Okay, that's big. That opens things up. That gives him a lot of potential. The roaches are going to run in on the front as well. He's got roach speed. He's going to try and utilize the movement advantage, but these Lings, they're about to find out about the Baneling. The Acid Boys. Reynor actually micros the Lings around the Banes into the natural. Great micro for Reynor, but can he bust the front at the same time? Serral pulls back his concave piece by piece. The Lings rejoin the fight on the front. Brilliant micro by Reynor to get usage out of those Zerglings despite everything that's gone on. He's up in army supply of that spine crawler. It's not what he wants to see there. He's going to try and just overwhelm it. I don't know if he's got the oomph. Does he have the numbers to really do so? That +1 doing wonders for Serral. That spine crawler finally goes down, but only after so much damage. And Reynor, it looks like his units are starting to trickle out. He's losing the oomph, the mass, the critical group of roaches that was overwhelming is no more. Another transfuse lands. The roach ravagers on the front. If Serral can break this push and hold on, he is up 5 workers and a +1 upgrade. And indeed, he does hold. Reynor starts a drone in an Evo chamber. I truly do believe he forgot to build the Evo chamber at some point in this game and said, well, screw it, it's too late now. Let's go for that attack, but it seems half-baked. And you might be wondering, what do you mean it's half-baked, Pig? I mean, why make a lair? Why not just go with hatchery tech roachling if you're going to do something like this? It seems like going for lair, going for roach speed, it's a lot of investment for not that much. I think if he just hit a bit earlier with a hatchery tech roachling bane, it had a chance of working. If he added +1 and roach speed, it had a chance of working. As it was, though, I do have a feeling Reynor kind of found himself in an awkward position, and he knee-jerked into an instinctive attack, which was pretty good, but it wasn't optimized, it wasn't planned out, and that is why I think Serral was able to hold on. Now, don't get me wrong, it's Reynor. Still a close fight, but he's miles behind in the upgrade. So he's going to try and go Spire to recover, because I'm so far behind in Roaches. If I get some mutas out, that's good. Problem, the map's so small, and Serral's probably going to scout this Spire once OV speed's finished. I feel like he can get you with Roach Hydra, and I'm not sure the mutas will have any time to pay for themselves. In fact, I think it makes the Roach Hydra timing even stronger than ever. Because you're going mutas, it might funnel Serral into a winning strategy. I'm coming up empty on what else Reynor could do other than play pure defensive Roach, which hasn't worked out so far. He's got to try something. And on that note alone, I have to support it. Like I'm here saying I don't think this is going to work, but I'm also saying I'm not criticizing Reynor for this. I really can't. Serral has put him in a bad position. He scouts the Spire. Some Roaches move out. He leaves a pack at home because he's expecting a Ling run by his Serral. A single Mutalisk builds. I think that's what Reynor's doing. I think he's going to go one Mutalisk and otherwise just play pure Roach. But is that going to be enough to hold on? He's way up in supply. Is Reynor on the Roaches? He's actually got so many Roaches, man. But of course, once +2 kicks in, it's going to counteract his +1, which means this is pretty much permanently a +1 attack upgrade advantage over Reynor. That's good for Serral. Serral trying to build Hydras, Tunneling Claws, Burrow, a lot of fancy upgrades coming in. Serral's happy to buy a bit of time for himself and delay the engagement. 3 more Mutalisks are on the way to get a bit of control. That hatchery does look misplaced for Reynor, but at least he's getting it up. Gonna run in, try and click on that hatchery. Not many Ravages in the mix. He's only got 2 Corrosive Biles to zone the enemy units. Serral's got +2. I mean, he does have +1. Looks like some Banes rolled in. 3 drones do go down. Oh, the Roaches derp out on that corner, don't they? Does throw some Biles to cover his retreat. Serral splits some Roaches up north. Wants to start tunneling those into the main base if possible. 56 drones to 55. Reynor's not that far behind in work as he started +2 range and +1 carapace. The Mutalisks are clearing up a bit of map vision, which at least is supply blocking Serral. Of course, Reynor also getting supply blocked. And it's those Tunneling Claw Roaches sneaking around. He's so afraid of Serral's army. He makes an Overseer. He predicted this, but he's just late. He's just a little late on it. The Overseer morphs in a bit too late. And that is a real problem because now Serral can push the middle while burrowing up inside the main and natural of Reynor. And I don't know why I can hear that System of a Down song where he's singing My Tapeworm Tells Me What to Do. And I don't know why. It's not even an Idis worm. It's just Roaches burrowing up. My point being, it's terrible. You're Reynor. You're down 1-3 against Serral. You can't deal with those Tunneling Claw Roaches. He goes across with his own counter, but I don't think he found any damage. His mutas couldn't get in on the gold base. That means there's a gold base mining for Serral. 3 base against 4 base. Reynor is outnumbered. It's in a terrible situation. And this is just so friggin' hard, man. Beautiful play by Serral. His Roaches are still dancing. Reynor needs to crush this engage, but Serral just keeps putting him in awful positions. 24 drones on that base. They tried to seek refuge. The Roaches find them. Mutas come in from behind. They will not cut the mustard. And it's Serral with the 20 army supply lead at the end of that. And a 15 worker lead, not to mention the gold base. You can see the mineral income count at the bottom. About 2,000 more minerals coming in a minute for Serral. That is a massive lead. Why is this blurry? Is this a restream? Yeah, I mean, the feed's been pretty clean, but everybody who's not the mainstream, the Comeback TV stream, is streaming off of a feed that we've been given, and the quality definitely does get a little bit lower when there's a ton of fighting going on. Lots of movement and whatnot. We are recording in a bit of a higher quality ourselves, so it should look a little bit better on the recording than those watching live, since live... Unfortunately, only 1080p. Bit too hard for me to set up 2K streaming here right now. On holiday. Roach Ravager Hydra pushes through. Serral eats the Biles. He does not care. And Reynor is going to have to tap out. GG, well played. Serral pushes through. A fantastic victory for Serral. A hard-earned one. And I think a very good answer after getting 3-0'd by Reynor. And honestly, he probably should have dropped that series to Reynor at EWC. It was a great win for Serral. He found a way to win, which was impressive. You know, props to him for that. But was it really the situation he wanted to find himself in? You know, getting smashed 2 series in a row? Not at all. And yet now he redeems himself and he says, hey, I'm the daddy of the matchup. Let's get this score back to the way it's meant to be, 4-1. GG, well played. Serral walks through the crowd. up to the stage for his winner's interview. GG, well played.